In today's workplace, it's always the boss who acts like the underling and the employees who act like the big shots. Bosses who are willing to call their employees boss themselves or make an extra 10 million. Recently, there's been a huge stir in the workplace. Everyone's talking about employees' attitudes, especially after that incident with Baidu's CEO. I'm not going to comment on anyone because I don't want to start any drama. I just want to share how the workplace values of Gen Z and millennials have changed, especially Gen Z. First of all, in today's era, especially when everyone is feeling extremely anxious about where the next wave of growth will come from, it's crucial to really understand this. The first point, the workplace has changed. It's no longer a battleground where employers are in the dominant position, recruiters are no longer the ones calling the shots, they're on the receiving end now. Instead, job seekers and employees have become the ones in the dominant position because companies can no longer promise huge growth prospects, nor can they offer significant salary increases or vast opportunities for advancement. Most companies are hiring large numbers of junior operations staff, junior product staff, junior business staff, and junior sales staff who are actually just doing ordinary, repetitive tasks over and over again. Although we can say that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, what this really means is that we keep improving and growing ourselves in ordinary positions and repeatedly witness our own growth alongside the company's. And then when you look back suddenly, that person is right there where the lights are dimmest. But as a boss, you can't say that because if you do, it comes across as manipulation. Feelings are extremely important. For workers, the feeling is that in today's era of stock competition, everyone is confused and uncertain. Boss, when I join your company, I'm not just here for a paycheck. I also want to see what else you can offer me, right? Secondly, the emotional value we can provide is actually built up bit by bit, not just about money. Money isn't everything. You can't just think that if you pay enough, you can do whatever you want and treat people like workhorses. First of all, it's impossible for you to pay that much because your own business revenue and gross profit margin can't be that high. Do you think you're Baidu or ByteDance and that makes your pay high? Sorry, but compared to the past, it's just not possible for salaries to be that high anymore. If even the big companies are like this, it's even more so for small companies. So what if the average salary we offer is 5,000 plus a commission, totaling 10,000? That's why providing emotional value has become an extremely important part of my core work for my team. What exactly is emotional value? In order to retain my core employees and maintain a positive team atmosphere, I put in a tremendous amount of effort. Every week I treat everyone to afternoon tea and sometimes to dinner at least once a month. These things may seem very simple, right? But when you add them all up, the increase in the team's emotional value account is actually very significant. Why is that? Because when you do these things, it's not just one person who notices, it's the whole team that sees it. When the whole team sees it, they start to realize, hey, it seems like the boss really values how our team feels. Once they feel seen themselves, they begin to wonder, if I leave this team, will I be able to find another team where I feel just as recognized? That's when the team's cohesion really starts to show. Only when your own small team is stable can you truly cultivate your own loyal followers. So as the boss, you really need to take this matter seriously, deep down to your core. It has to be genuine attention, not some vague, superficial gesture like just checking a box once a year. That kind of so-called attention is completely wrong. Finally, what I want to share with everyone is that whether you are an entrepreneur or an employee, you have to recognize the very strong tendency toward individualism in mainland China. The post-90s generation is still okay. We ourselves are very obedient and we don't rebel in the workplace. But the post-2000s are different. I've noticed that the post-2000s have a strong sense of security because their parents have made sure they'll never go hungry. They'll always have enough to eat. Their parents have also made sure that not being able to afford a house isn't an issue. Their parents have 2 houses anyway, so they can always go back home. And mainland China is big enough, so even if you can't make it in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, or Hangzhou, you can still go back and take the civil service exam or go home and inherit the family business. That's why they're especially willful. So now more and more people are starting to live for themselves, and it's really hard to retain an employee anymore, especially a young employee. They might really see life as an amusement park to experience. So we ourselves are also just going with the flow, living in the moment. We'll shake hands and work together for as long as we can. People have their joys and sorrows, just as the moon waxes and wanes. If one day I fail, or one day you no longer like me, then let's part ways on good terms. Workplace individualism, the era of internet stock competition, and the fact that small business owners simply can't afford to pay high salaries. These 3 factors determine that in today's workplace, the boss has to act humble while the employees are treated like royalty. Bosses who are willing to treat their employees like royalty will earn an extra 10 million. Guys, seriously, on June 25th, I'll be sharing all my entrepreneurial insights and management experiences from the past 5 years in my live stream. If you're interested, click to reserve your spot and I'll see you there.